Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. We are finally doing the fourth installment in my Ranking My Results skincare series. This is the one I've been nervous about, the drugstore brands. What a wild thought that I'm most nervous about the drugstore video, and it's not because the brands that I'm nervous about are brands that I hate. It's not at all that. It's just very simply, I think some of the drugstore brands are a little overrated. I think I'm saying there may actually be some unpopular opinions in this video, and yet they're not going to be harsh, unpopular opinions. This is not going to be a video of me saying, oh my god, don't buy this, it's the worst thing ever. Just, maybe don't buy every last product from every brand that we're going to discuss today. Is it just me, or does it feel so much easier to buy too much from the more affordable skincare brands, to just kind of talk yourself into a 20-step skincare routine, which you're never going to have the time to do, but it's just so affordable that you think, oh, I should buy 20 skincare products at once? Anyway, if you are new to this series, I will have a link in the description box to the other videos in this series, and we will have one more to do, the Korean beauty brands, which I think we'll probably do that in a couple of a few weeks. We'll say a few weeks because I want to make sure I finish Pyunkang and then Rovectin. Those are the last ones on my list, and then I don't know. Then I don't know what we'll do. Of course, the series is just my own thoughts, my own experiences. Skincare is very personal. You are welcome to disagree with me. You can even leave a comment below explaining why certain brands that didn't work out for me went better for you, or you can agree with me. I'd like to know if other people share my unpopular opinions. It turns out you can change the label colors. Discovered that entirely by accident. So now it's in a format that makes more sense. Amazing is pink. Or is it purple on your screen? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into this ranking process. We are starting with the brand Pacifica. I've actually done two separate trials with Pacifica. And what I can tell you is I'm gonna put them in a few HGs because I actually have loved some of the products from them. But I'm also gonna make sure there's a stipulation here that I don't like Pacifica's model, actually. I don't know if all of you watching this know this, I certainly didn't several years ago, but Pacifica discontinues everything. So don't have HGs from Pacifica because you will regret it when they discontinue that product. Yeah, I absolutely loved they had this blue tansy oil. I actually really liked their bakuchiol, and they don't make them anymore. What an odd business model. This is skincare we're talking about, not t-shirts. Why would you make something that people should continue to buy and then say, we've decided to discontinue it? That is extremely strange to me, right? So anyway, I mean, I have really loved those products, but I do not want to commit my heart too much to the brand now that I know that fact. Alright, next up we have Wet n Wild. Do you all know that this is the worst skincare trial I've ever done in 4 years on this channel? The worst was Wet n Wild. I think Wet n Wild hasn't really done a lot more skincare, so I'm trying not to hold it against them too much. Wow, I learned a very, very valuable lesson from that trial. So for a while I was kind of concerned, should I never again buy drugstore skincare? Is that bad? Thankfully that is not the final lesson that I took home, although I also admit to you, for a while I was a little hesitant of buying inexpensive skincare. What I ultimately realized is this could happen with even more expensive skincare. I think what we have to be vigilant about with these companies is this concept of releasing products too quickly. I think that Wet n Wild was guilty of a skincare equivalent of fast fashion. I can't prove this, of course, but I feel from using those products, I feel like what happened is they came up with these ideas for skincare, they made the products, and they just immediately put them on the shelves. And in my video I said I suspected that because there was no dermatologist tested stamp. I know that in the skincare circles these days people have realized that doesn't mean a lot, but it also doesn't mean nothing. It also means that that product has at least been in the hands of some other people. It wasn't just a, Alibaba to customer model. And you gotta test skincare before you release it, right? You have to test it. So it actually does carry meaning to me when I see dermatologist tested. It carries meaning to me when I see on the Sephora website the, in 2 weeks customers saw blank. That means at least it went through a 2-week trial. We had none of that with the Wet n Wild skincare that was released. Nothing. I don't even think they tried it in their offices because the specific product that caused me a problem was this mask that it basically fused to my face. You don't have to stress about this because all of these products are discontinued. I've actually forgiven Wet n Wild. It took me a while. It did take me a while. Good thing though, because I love their primer and their new moisturizer, tinted moisturizer. But yeah, it was bad. This mask did not want to come off my skin. I was peeling it off with, it was a peel-off mask, trying to peel it off with a butter knife. I suspect it wasn't as bad for people with oily skin, but I still never saw a review of that went well. Every review I saw, people were in pain, physical pain, trying to remove that mask that they released. So anyway, it was not a good situation, and I hope Wet n Wild decides to not do more skincare, or at least if you're going to, please test it. Please run some tests with your skincare. Does that say Orlando? I don't think that's the right Wet n Wild logo, y'all. We can rank theme parks. We want to rank theme parks while we're here. Amazing. Busch Gardens. Way better than Disney. Why would you go to Disney and stand in all those lines when Busch Gardens is just around the corner? Relatively, in Florida time. It's so funny, when I moved to Louisiana, that's when I learned that a 20-minute drive is too long for some people in Florida. That's just the normal length of time to drive to the grocery store. Anyway, remember when I had that category of wish I could forget? Yeah, Wet n Wild belongs there. We'll just put you in forgettable. Burt's Bees. So Burt's Bees was also a disaster on my skin. This is kind of a rough start for this video, isn't it? But, I don't have any problem with the products. I think they just have a lot of potential allergens, which is interesting because they are a much more natural brand, but there's a real roadblock here in that natural doesn't mean safer. A lot of people like to make that argument, but it doesn't. It depends on your allergies and it depends on your preferences. If somebody wants to use natural products, by all means go for it, but don't make the argument that it's safer when that's just not always true. I'm gonna have to put Burt's Bees into forgettable for me, but again, I know a lot of people love Burt's Bees, and that's great. That's wonderful. As long as it works for you, that's wonderful. Keep doing what you enjoy. Number 7. Oh, number 7. I'm actually gonna have to say a few HGs, but otherwise meh. I love their retinol so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for how utterly broken of a record I am with that retinol, but it is wonderful. However, I feel like a lot of their other products are just kind of expensive for what they are. Maybe it's not quite this same story in the UK, as this is a UK-based brand, so it may be a lot more affordable. They do have nice products, though. They really do. I almost bought their new salicylic. I think I talked myself out of it because I think it contains alcohol, and I know that that's not YouTube popular, but it's probably a fine product. Physicians Formula. I think this is going to be my first very good experience for this video. I actually do really like Physicians Formula skincare products. And again, Physicians Formula, their makeup is a little bit more expensive than some of the other drugstore options, but actually their skincare is not bad. Doesn't it really suggest how arbitrary pricing is? I don't think it really means anything. Their gold line is absolutely amazing. It is some of the best skincare I've found at the drugstore. Just pretend it doesn't have gold in it because the gold part is a gimmick. But it's a beautiful, niacinamide-rich, fragrance-free, alcohol-free line. They're really nice products. CeraVe. This one is so tricky. Have I told you that occasionally I get comments from people saying, I thought this was going to be a CeraVe channel. Y'all are messing up my joke. I should have gone further with the joke aspect. It should have been me making out with the CeraVe in the tub. That'd be such a great profile picture. Ooh, this is so tricky. Okay, strictly ranking my results with CeraVe, I actually have to put them in amazing. I absolutely have to. All that said, I don't think every last product is amazing, and I totally think the brand is actually quite overhyped on social media, right? They're overhyped. I've heard a lot of people have issues with their cleansers. The CeraVe moisturizing cream, the CeraVe in the tub, it does not work for everybody. It's got fatty alcohols. Those don't work for everybody. So, you know, I just feel like with the amount of hype it gets, people probably think, oh, this is the solution for all my problems, and that's just not necessarily the case. Nonetheless, when I actually did a trial with the brand, I found a product/ingredient that changed my life. The Acne Foaming Cream Cleanser, you know by now. So yeah, honestly, I have to put them in amazing because, I mean, my skin has been amazing since that trial because I discovered that ingredient in the right product for me. So I have to do that. I feel like I'm kind of contributing to the sense of overhypeness by doing this, but I also can't deny it. And yet I sit here knowing a lot of the other products from CeraVe, I don't even use the moisturizing cream anymore. I don't use it anymore because I have other products that I prefer over it. Let's talk about Revolution Skincare next. This list is so utterly out of order. I've tried really hard to keep it in order and it just doesn't stay. So Revolution is coming up way before The Ordinary. I really see them as related but not the same. I like some of Revolution's products more than some products from The Ordinary because they have some very unique ideas. You know, the colloidal silver serum that was in my Empties video on Monday, that's a very unique idea, and I've only ever seen other brands do that for, you know, a minimum of $70. But the catch with Revolution Skincare is you can't get too comfortable with their products and think that all of them are going to be that super straightforward, fragrance-free, no additives direction, because sometimes they'll throw in these really bizarre products that feel like they're made at a completely different factory. And I'm convinced they are. I really am truly convinced that they are. I think they have different groups of formulators. All just my own theory, of course, but that's what I feel. I ended up throwing away one of their masks. It was just so utterly useless, and yet I love other products from them. So we'll put them in very good experience because my skin wasn't necessarily night and day after using their products, but it was good. I'm so sorry, I could feel my mascara falling down my face. I'm not wearing any foundation or powder, so I don't have anything to prevent it from falling. Wore too much mascara to not wear foundation and powder. Next up on the list is Good Molecules. Oh my goodness, okay, this one is an explanation. So I did 2 trials with Good Molecules. If I was to rank them on only my first trial, it'd have to be I get it but not for me because they have essential oils in their products. But here's the thing. So they sent me a bunch of products in PR. I reviewed them. I didn't have great results. And they kept me on their PR list. I'm sorry if you've heard this before. They kept me on their PR list, which is shocking. That never happens if you criticize a brand. They kept me on. They sent me more products, and they actually went back and changed the formula on all their products. Just so you know, it's not because I'm personally that influential. It's just that they did what a lot of people wanted them to do. They took out the essential oils. They took out the fragrance, which is what has been trendy for a while. So they listened to that feedback, and they actually made those changes. And then they went above and beyond and came out with the nothing to hide ingredients list. So, amazing. Because by my second trial, we are absolutely at amazing level results, and the nothing to hide ingredients list, that is exactly what means so stinking much to me. I want to know the exact percentages of actives and other ingredients in my products, and Good Molecules does that. I have so much respect for them. Oh, the Inkey List is next. Well, it looks like we've run out of time for today's video. Thanks so much for joining. I'm just kidding. We'll do it, but this is the brand I'm most nervous about. You know what's so interesting? I feel like people are really vigilant about watching out for, undisclosed sponsorships or just sponsorships in general. People are on guard for that. And yet, do we ever think about, is it possible for influencers to hype up products simply because they're hyped up and they want to jump on that bandwagon instead of say, actually, I don't know if this really deserves the hype? The KVD Apple, whatever it's called, foundation, let me be a psychic for a moment. I will predict you the future with that. It is going to continue to rise for a short period of time in popularity, and then it's going to drop out, because I know foundation balms. It's not anything new. They've been around for ages. They're gorgeous on your skin, absolutely stunning, often used in photography, in modeling, film, but there's a bit of a con with them. They don't last on your skin. And that's the thing, I see this going on with the TikTok trends. Of course it looks good. Of course it looks good. In your quick little video after you've just applied it, you keep on wearing that balm. You keep wearing that foundation balm for the next week or so, and you'll discover it fades away. Call 1-900-Alice in the Rabbit Hole for more psychic predictions. Anyway, I just keep trying to avoid actually giving you my thoughts, but we're going to do it. Let's just do it. So, the Inkey List. My results were not great. But, if you've been a subscriber of this channel, you know I do have HGs from this brand. In fact, I'm trialing an Inkey List product right now. I think they have some really good products. But I also think my catch with the Inkey List is that I think they look so similar to The Ordinary that people think they're an alternative to The Ordinary. And yet, they're not quite. They're similar in some ways. They have the same kind of more straightforward product focus, but they also add in some other things, and sometimes I don't think their science is as well grounded as products from The Ordinary. If you saw Lab Muffin's video about the succinic acid treatment, she is right. She is right. I guess she got a bit of hate for that video, but she's not wrong. And my biggest gripe with them was, you know, if you're going to look like The Ordinary and have these exact percentages of the actives printed on your bottles, it should be accurate. And oopsie on that retinol not actually being a 1% retinol. Oopsie. But again, I don't hate them, so it's so funny that my fear in this whole video is of me to take this brand and put them into a few HGs, which is not a bad rating. That's not a bad rating. But they're so hyped. They're so incredibly hyped, and I've forgotten some of their products completely. A lot of their products were met to me, but the BHA is absolutely wonderful. I hope I enjoy the succinic acid acne treatment, so, you know, a few HGs. Whew, I got that one over with. We can move on. Let's talk about Iherb. So they sent me some of their house brands to try out in PR. I was really excited about this because one real strength of Iherb is that they are actually an international company. That was exciting to me because, you know, I'm sitting here raving about brands that are only available in the US. I know that happens and I feel bad about it, but it's a difficult obstacle to overcome. There's a lot of brands that only ship in the US. I do, however, or did like some of their products, but I don't think I'll repurchase them. I guess, let's just say I get it, but not for me, because again, it is really nice to have options available to everybody, but I think they should have done some things differently. Most notably, in this day and age, they should have left fragrance out, especially since it's probably just masking fragrance. They're not even strong scents, but bad move in this market. So yeah, I get it, but not for me. Rosen Skincare next. Oh my goodness, I love Rosen so much. So if you're not familiar with this brand, this is an affordable, clean, black-owned, acne-focused skincare brand. A lot of stuff going on. And man, honestly, my results were great. My results shocked me from this brand because they don't have any of the traditional acne ingredients in their products. That's actually their whole selling point. They have an alternative method to dealing with acne, and you know, the whole idea here being, if other products haven't worked for you, maybe try this approach. And their products actually did go really well. I'm just trying to decide between amazing and very good, only because in my last order I noticed they had some issues with their batches. I don't know why that happened. It's kind of hard to leave them in very good experience though. I want to put them in amazing just because I didn't think it was possible. I did not think it was possible to, you know, get results against my acne without ingredients like salicylic or benzoyl peroxide. So they proved me wrong. Stratia, oh my god, Stratia. These are some of my favorite brands popping up right here. So Stratia is this much small, why is Stratia not the top skincare brand of all time? Actually, Why aren't they? Stratia's products are absolutely based in the sciences, they're still very reasonably priced, and they are so effective. You know what, let's put Stratia in amazing. I can't say that I saw quite as much of a before and after, and that's going to be a consistent theme going forward. I'm a lot happier with my skin. It's going to be hard for me to see changes at this point. So I think what I'm trying to say with this is I tried this pretty recently. It was not an intense before and after because my before is so good to me these days. Listen, my skin is not perfect, but it is so much better than it was years ago. It's so much better. I genuinely feel convinced that I look better than I did in my mid-20s. I really feel that. Aw, The Ordinary's next. I love The Ordinary so much. I love what they did for the skincare industry. Rest in peace, Brandon. It's sad. But, you know, the lasting impact that he had on the skincare industry. The Ordinary made skincare accessible to everybody. They really did, and they have earned my highest respect for doing that. And even though, to be honest with you, I like the textures of some of these similar brands more. I like the textures of Good Molecules more. I like the texture of the Inkey List more. But The Ordinary did it first. They did it first. They are the reason that those brands are doing what they're doing. I think that if I put The Ordinary in any category other than amazing, I'm not being honest with myself because of how much they mean to me. And yet I don't use a ton of products from The Ordinary because, you know, if you wear makeup, you may run into some issues with pilling just because of how straightforward the products are. But that does not detract from their meaning. Does that make sense? And also, for the record, I did a trial of them years ago, and actually my results were amazing. I just don't always like the pilling that comes along with it, particularly paired with makeup, but a lot of people don't wear makeup. A lot of people don't, so amazing. Final answer. Pixi. You know, I think I've done more trials with Pixi than any other. 1, 2, 3. I've done 3 trials. No, I've done 3 with Dr. Dennis Gross also. I had a very good experience with them in 3 separate videos, but these days they've kind of moved down a little bit. I'd say to maybe the HG level, just because I only love the entire Clarity line and the fragrance-free dual cleanser. No, very good experience is fair because that's 5 HG products. 4. What's funny about Pixi, you know how I was going off about Bare Minerals in the Ulta video a couple weeks ago? I kind of feel like Pixi is falling in line with that. They might not be as popular on YouTube. In fact, the reason I say this is because back when the fragrance-free skincare first started trending, a lot of people were calling out specifically Pixi, right? But they've adapted. They have adapted. They have a lot of products that do not have any fragrance in them anymore. And I think they'll always be popular. I think that a lot of just casual buyers use Pixi skincare products. And I understand why, because they're great. They're great, they're super accessible, they're available at Target. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that just go into Target, buy their Pixi products, and they're good to go. They're not watching a lot of YouTube videos, or maybe they are. Maybe they're watching the gamer side of YouTube. Who knows? I think Pixi is a really solid brand. It's kind of a shame that they got so called out several years ago. So yeah, we'll say very good experience. e.l.f. skincare, oh my goodness, be still my beating heart. I love e.l.f. so much. I'm going to put them in very good experience, but only because if you saw my e.l.f. skincare review, I don't feel that they're the most active brand on the market, but they round out other brands so well. Again, sorry I'm referencing my empties so much, but I just finished off the Happy Hydration. I finished their CBD eye cream, and they're such good products. Oh my goodness. But you know, as far as actives, I don't think I ever really enjoyed any of the sort of active products e.l.f. has. They're much more toned down as skincare. In some ways, this is really good. In all truth, this might surprise you that I'm about to say this, but I don't think every person needs actives. You know, some people are obviously really into skincare and into actives, but there's some pros and cons that come along with using actives. And I feel e.l.f. just does a good job of making easy to use skincare, where it's pretty difficult to mess your face up. You can mess your face up with The Ordinary. I ranked them as amazing because they are, but you can absolutely wreck your moisture barrier with that brand. I don't think you can do that with e.l.f. They don't really have intense products. They just have surprisingly cosmetically elegant $12 moisturizers. So yeah, very good experience. Really love e.l.f. Wonderful products. L'Oreal next. L'Oreal. So I tried L'Oreal ages ago, and I liked Revitalift. I did like Revitalift way back in the day, but you know what? I've got to say forgettable, because we've been talking throughout this entire video about brands that carry such affordable products. You compare those products to L'Oreal, and it's just kind of, why is the price so much higher? Why are the ingredients so underwhelming? Don't get me wrong, because I actually do like some products from L'Oreal. I tried their honey products more recently, and I like them. But again, I object to the price tag. If other brands are doing these things for a fraction of the price, why are your products so expensive? I know they have, wait, am I thinking of L'Oreal or am I thinking of Olay? No, they have some fragrance-free products now, but they're still not really fragrance-free. They still certainly have a smell. Yeah, I'm just going to have to say forgettable. I'm going to say this because this very week, I made an order on the Walgreens website. They had this actually amazing deal on L'Oreal. You could get $12 off and buy one, get one 50% off. The reason I don't talk about Walgreens deals is because they're very targeted, so you may have a $12 off coupon, but you may not. Anyway, I did have one, so I spent some time trying to find L'Oreal products to buy for, you know, a very good deal, and I just couldn't do it. I had the Hydra line in my cart, and I talked myself out of that because of how underwhelming it looked. I tried to buy some more of the honey products, but even then I was just like, I'm not going to use these over the I'm from Honey mask, right? Why would I do that? So I ended up going with Olay instead, which I do not have on this list. I haven't used Olay products in years. In fact, so long that I remember them being oil of Olay. But yeah, Olay had way better ingredients, even more expensive prices though. I think it was $32 for the moisturizer I went with, but I still went with that over the L'Oreal deal because of how underwhelming the ingredients looked. So you see why I'm putting them in the forgettable category, right? Again, if you enjoy them, by all means continue to. It's just forgettable for me. Soap and Glory, oh my goodness. Okay, so I did this trial years ago, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. The skincare I tried, I don't even know if they can make it anymore, because I remember the scrub I tried had microbeads, and we don't allow microbeads anymore. But their body care, amazing. Smells so good, just beautiful body care. Do you all remember when Soap and Glory was carried at Sephora? Anyway, if we're doing this on skincare, right? So I think I'm gonna have to throw them in forgettable. How tricky is that? I just told you I love the body care, but for skincare, yeah, they were just kind of forgettable. I see why they're not in Sephora anymore. I hope that's not harsh, because I really do enjoy, third time I'm saying this, I really do enjoy their body care, just not their face care. I just almost knocked my camera over, so I hope the rest of this video is not blurry. Apologies if it is. We'll get it fixed by the next video. We have one more brand, and that is the Butters Hygienics. What happened to my logo? Oh well, this video is not perfect. Anyway, this kind of reminds me of Soap and Glory, because I love their body products. Oh my goodness. Again though, this isn't about the body care. As for their face care, oh my gosh, their oil is so good as long as you can use tea tree products. It's kind of similar to Rosen in this sense. It's not salicylic based products. I feel like their products are a little more for oily skin also. Their mask was definitely for oily skin. I like their cleansing bar. Let's put them in very good experience. And that's it. We've come to the end of the second to last video in this series. As always, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Feel free to agree with me and to disagree with me. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.